Hello, students. I'm Mrs. Jagdish Garewal, your chemistry teacher. Hope all of you are doing great. And today we'll be studying pH, which deals with the strength of an acid as well as that of a base. And it also has a lot of importance in our daily life. To begin our topic, we'll first study a little bit about our litmus paper test. A litmus paper indicates whether the solution is an acid, a base, or a neutral one. Now, in an acidic solution, the blue litmus paper changes red to color. In the basic solution, the red litmus changes into the blue color. Whereas in a neutral solution, the blue litmus paper remains blue and the red litmus paper remains red. So that means it is only an indication of an acid, base, or a neutral solution. It does not tell us anything about the strength of an acid or a base. This means that how strong or weak an acid is, or how strong or weak a base is. For this purpose, a Danish chemist, he introduced a pH scale, and the Danish chemist was SPL Sorensen. Now, in this, P stands for potence, which is the German word meaning power. And H stands for the hydronium ions. Where do we get the hydronium ions from? From the hydrogen ions which combine with water molecules, that is an acid or a base. Whenever they dissolve in water, the acid produces the hydrogen ions which combines with the water molecule to give us the hydronium ions. Now, pH is always calculated by the concentration of the hydronium ions, and this is in respect to the hydroxide ions which are also present in the solution. Now, children, hydroxide ions are present in the acidic solution, that is in the aqueous solution of an acid, as well as in the aqueous solution of bases. Similarly, the hydronium ions are also present in both acids as well as bases. The only difference is their concentration. Now, to come back to our pH, the value of pH is always inversely proportional to the concentration of the hydronium ions. The square bracket, this represents the concentration. So pH is inversely proportional to the concentration of the hydronium ions. This means that higher the concentration of hydronium ions, lesser will be the pH value. So that is what we mean by inversely proportional. Now the pH scale is represented on a scale ranging from 0 to 14, 7 being its midpoint, and the number 7, that represents a neutral solution. Now, besides having numbers on it, this also shows various color changes. The colors from 0 to 7 range in various shades of red, whereas from 7 to 14, they range in various shades of blues. Now, lesser than 7 are the acids. Lesser the pH value, that means somewhere here between 1 and 2, stronger is going to be the acid, because the concentration of hydronium ions here is going to be very large. So if the concentration of hydronium ions is large, the pH value will be very less. Now, as we move from 7 to 14, we get the basic solutions. Nearer to 7, we have our weak bases, and as we move away towards 14, we get very strong bases towards 13 and 14. So nearer to 6, nearer to 7, that is 6 and 5, we have weak acids, and then moderate acids, and then we have the very strong acids like for example, our mineral acids such as HCl and H2SO4 and HNO3. Then our moderate acids such as our citric acid, and weak acids, our example is that of vinegar. Neutral is our water. Pure water is always neutral. Then we have the weak bases nearer here, that's ammonium hydroxide, and our strong bases such as potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. Now, when we compare with the neutral solution, that means the value of 7, lower the pH value, stronger is going to be the acid, as I explained now, and higher the pH value, stronger is going to be the base. Now, we've already studied that when an acid or a base is dissolved, what is going to happen? It is going to ionize or it is going to dissociate. In case of acids, in an aqueous solution, that means when it's dissolved in water, if it completely dissociates or completely ionizes, producing a very large number of hydronium ions or a high concentration of hydronium ions, it is taken as a strong acids like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3. And if the ionization or the dissociation of the acid is partial or it is less, then the concentration of the hydronium ions would be less and it is categorized as a weak acid. Now, similarly, ionization in bases or dissociation in bases in the aqueous solution, if they completely ionize, that is, they completely dissociate or dissolve, and those bases are known as alkalis, for example, NaOH, KOH, they will completely ionize, giving a high concentration of OH ions and are categorized as strong bases. Whereas if they do not dissociate completely and there is a partial dissociation or partial ionization, then the concentration of OH ions would be less and the base is categorized as a weak base. Now, whenever an acid dissolves in water, it will have the H positive ions from the acid and you'll have a negatively charged ion. Water molecule will auto-dissociate or auto-ionize again to form hydrogen ions and you'll have the OH ions. These hydrogen ions are actually present as hydronium ions. So in an acid solution also you have the OH ions, although this is very less in number. This is less in number. This is comparatively very large in number. The hydronium ions, they are very large in number. Similarly, the bases also, due to the auto-dissociation of a very small number of water molecules, we would have the hydrogen ions and we would have the hydroxide ions. Then we would have, for example, if I'm taking sodium hydroxide, I would have the sodium ions and I would have the hydroxide ions. So the number of hydroxide ions in comparison or in relation with the hydronium ion here, this is very large. So that's what is happening in acids and in bases. Now, why do we study pH? pH has got a very large number of very important uses in our daily life. Plants and animals, they function, their body organs and their mechanisms inside the cells that works very well in a pH range from 7 to 7.8. That is somewhere it falls in the neutral category, leaning little bit towards the basic. Now, if we have acid rain, this acid rain brings down the pH of any water body it is falling down to less than 5.6. And if we have high pollution in that area, the pH of the acid rain or the water which is going to fall to will come down to 3. And even this is very harmful for the aquatic life, for all the aquatic animals. They will not be able to survive in the acidic water, as well as for the plants. So therefore, we need to maintain their pH level or their pH balance for the proper survival of plants and animals. pH also has a very important role to play in agriculture. The pH of the soil, that also has to be in the range of a neutral level. But sometimes it becomes acidic. And if the soil becomes acidic, the leaves start to show a yellow color and they will not be able to manufacture their food with the help of photosynthesis because chlorophyll will not work properly. Now, how does the soil become acidic? There are certain activities which make the soil acidic. First, the acid rain. Next is during the harvest or during the agricultural activities of harvesting or growing high yielding crops. That time we are using a lot of synthetic fertilizers, ammonia based fertilizers, and this ammonia based fertilizer is going to make the soil acidic. A large amount of decaying organic matter that will also contribute towards the acidity of the soil or making the soil acidic, and then the plants are not going to grow properly and it's going to be a great loss to the farmers. So what is the remedy for this? The remedy is to make the soil neutral by adding certain bases, and the common example is that of calcium hydroxide or calcium carbonate. So when we add the bases, the acidic nature is neutralized and we get the neutral soil, which is very important for the proper growth of plants. pH also has a very important role to play in our digestive system. Now you must be aware that our gastric juices have got hydrochloric acid, which has a very important role to play. Now if this is in excess, it will lead to the problem of acidity and indigestion, and then we have to use antacids, which are mild bases. Most common examples we've already done is that of your ENO tablets or your baking soda, which is also one of the major constituents of ENO. And then we have magnesium hydroxide, which is milk of magnesia. Next comes pH and our tooth health. Inside our mouth, we have certain food particles which are left behind. Now, our mouth also has, or I would say it is a house to a very large number of bacteria. Now, when this bacteria, it acts on these food material or the food particle which is left behind, it produces certain acids, and the pH of the mouth that falls to about 5.5, and this then erodes the enamel, and this enamel is made up of calcium phosphate, and this calcium phosphate is a very tough material contributing towards the enamel also we know is very tough, so you can imagine these bacteria which will produce the acid is then going to corrode the enamel, and then it is going to cause tooth decay by forming cavities. And the remedy for this, can you guess it? The remedy, of course, is a good quality toothpaste. So before we go to sleep, that means especially in the night, we must brush our teeth with a good quality basic toothpaste. This will neutralize the acid, as well as it will lead to the removal of all the food particles which are there. Now, next, pH also has a very important role to play in the self-defense of plants and animals. We already know that insects such as bee, when they sting us, it produces a burning sensation due to the release of methanoic acid into our skin, and this is what which causes a burning sensation. And so this is neutralized by a mild base such as baking soda. Plants also have their self-defense mechanism, and pH again plays a very important role over here. There are certain plants, example is that of a nettle plant. Now this nettle has got very sharp needles, and accidentally if you touch this needles, again it's going to produce a burning sensation due to this methanoic acid. And just next to the nettle, always you will find the dock plant, and this dock plant leaves, if you rub it on the place where you have accidentally touched the nettle, this is going to bring you relief. And if this is acidic in nature, naturally this has to be basic in nature to give us some kind of relief. So this is all what we have to do in pH. That's all for today. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.